First of all, want to congratulate Wisconsin, Coach Christ and his team. They did a great job. They deserve to win, obviously, and first-class people. So that's that. Normally I like to try to spin things in a positive light, and I could start with our defense. And, after the first couple drives, really did a super job of slowing things down and getting some stops and forcing some field goals. And after turnovers and things of that nature, just battled to the very end, to the last inch at the very end of the game, trying to keep them out of the end zone on that last touchdown. But I want to thank Coach Diaz and the job he did for us, moving on to Temple. Wish him the best. And the rest of the staff and players, proud of the job they did. Offensively, there's not many nuggets you can really pull from today. My guess is one of the very good performance. Just put it that way. Obviously, it starts with me for sure, and really, that's where the buck stops. Head football coach and play caller, the whole bit. So, just a poor job by me. Didn't do a good enough job to get the first downs and the yardage and the touchdowns that we needed to stay in this game. It was just didn't happen tonight, obviously. So, that y'all can ask your questions.
Hey, Mark, that said, accepting that after a game is probably not the best time to ask this question, but after a game is probably not the best time to ask this question, but there may not be any other opportunities anytime soon. Have you given any thought? I mean, tonight wasn't obviously the first time that there have been struggles on offense. Have you given any thought to maybe bringing in some help and obviously that's an option for you?
I'll just say this. Things got to get fixed, and that'll be number one priority.
Mark, why didn't Jaron Williams play tonight?
Well, he was going to play at the very end, but we, like I had mentioned, Nkosi was not suspended. He was able to play. He didn't deserve to start, in my opinion, and we put him in next. And then, we were going to play Jaron at the very end, but at that point, it wouldn't have been, anything more than just an opportunity to get in the game. But we just felt like Nkosi was second team.
Are you concerned that Jaron might leave the program or transfer?
I don't think he will, but he's already said he's staying, and I don't think this game had anything to do with how he felt like his chances were for the future here. I would think if I'm him, I'm thinking I got a very outstanding shot at competing for the job.
Mark, what was it that you saw from Malik ahead of this game that made you feel comfortable making that change? Or did you go back to looking at the film from Pittsburgh where Nkosi only had, I think it was 50 yards? What was the decision in Malik starting today?
Just a combination of things. I mean, part of it was I felt like Nkosi's still navigating how to become the starting quarterback. On the field, off the field, and didn't feel like he deserved it. He deserved the opportunity to start. Malik practiced really well, and I felt like he was going to give us the best shot.
Mark, kind of on the heels of that, obviously the quarterback position all season felt like you just weren't really comfortable with either guy.
Right.
Was it performance? Was it grasping the playbook? Was it off the field issues? Was it one thing that sort of stood out that really made it tough for you?
Well, I mean, you have different quarterbacks with different issues, but probably a combination of all those things you mentioned.
Mark, neither team's quarterbacks had really lit it up this year, and I'm just curious if you thought the team that would run the ball most effectively would have the best chance to win, because that's pretty much what happened.
Yeah, I think in a game like this, like you say, with the quarterback situation on both sides, you know, the running game is the quarterback's best friend, and you know, they were built for that kind of a game, and they executed well. They got, you know, obviously a one great back, and the other back's pretty darn good too. But when you're running behind that line and their tight ends and the whole deal, they were built for a day like this, in a game where it was kind of you know, not wanting to have to rely on your quarterback to make every play to win.
Defensively, how does the Wisconsin team you saw today compare to what you saw in film coming up to this game?
Well, they did pretty much what we saw, what we thought. I mean, they didn't reinvent the wheel or anything. They executed better than we did, period.
Coach, despite the outcome of the game, were there any positives that you can take away from the bowl experience as a whole, being here in New York this week?
I mean, the bowl experience was great for our kids, for our coaches' wives and kids, and I think, you know, everybody that was part of our support staff that got to do what you do in New York was fantastic. The hospitality was great. The New Era Pinstripe Bowl committee and the people that were in charge of hosting us did a beautiful job, and we appreciate it very much. And we had some, you know, life experiences for a lot of our players and a lot of our children, a lot of our wives. Sometimes, you know, for a lot of our wives, it was a first-time experience too. So it was very good.
Mark, you obviously got a few juniors that have big decisions to make here. Have any of them given you any word yet as far as them leaving, you know, to the NFL?
There's been nothing definitive.
Okay.
You know, they may know in their mind what they're going to do, and they may say something soon. I don't know. I mean, it's an emotional day, so there may be some that comes out. But as of right now, no one has come to me and said, this is what I'm going to do.
Mark, you probably had them 5-6 negative yardage runs in the first half, which doesn't happen to them very often. Did they do anything different in the second half to avoid that?
You're talking about Wisconsin?
Did Wisconsin do anything different in the second half that
not necessarily?
You couldn't
I
get
just
those
think
negative yardage runs?
you get negative yardage runs when your defensive linemen can penetrate and create a new line of scrimmage, and we've taken pride on that all year long. And they are a downhill running team, and like you say, it doesn't happen often against a team like that. But every once in a while, a guy like Tito or Nesta or you know, John Ford. I mean, I couldn't see it all, but I know there were some times it was some good penetration by our interior defensive linemen. It's kind of where it started.
Hey, Mark, you came in very self-analytical and you know, expressed that, you know, things do need to get fixed. Does this like make you mad? Like, you know, I got to go home and get to work on this kind of thing. Like, you know, the experience of tonight.
Why would it matter if I'm mad or not? I don't know why,
You know what I mean?
I don't know why that's important to you.
Yeah, maybe mad's not the right word, but
Well, I'm disappointed. Disappointed.
Mark, one of the things that we talked with you about a couple weeks ago was just you knew there was still work to do with recruiting, and obviously that's, you know, going to be coming up shortly. Are you concerned with a performance like this, the impact it could have on some of the guys that are still out there? Just offensively, they might worry or questions they might have?
Well, they might get worried or they might see opportunity. You know, we'll see. All right, thank you.